We're gonna try to make this quick, quick background run through. We talked about these little strings here, and they go through, and they tie this together, and they tie it onto they tie onto the other one, So it has a tendency to tie together here, tie together here, tie together here, and tie together here. Normally maybe one or two, and of course you can make a little mouse tie here, and a mouse tie at the bottom. And so we kind of tie these things together. So when the outrigger arms are not in, and we talked about when the outrigger arms are not in, the mouse kind of ties it together. But basically on the foot plate, perforated holes. Now, we said before, you need a foot plate that's just a little strong and rigid. A little strong and rigid. But we find out that's not necessarily the case. You can use a thinner plywood. And we'll put both of them up here for the people that don't know. This is a 1/4 inch, and I think this is about 3/8. So the smaller, thinner one works good. It's the physics of a bridge. If the bridge is arced, then you don't need so much material in it. The same thing about this. A thin one works just as good, because now we're saying the strength is not in the foot plate. 2 foot plates. Now, we're going to look at these rods on the back. I don't know if you can see them or not. This rod, it runs through, and this rod runs through. Now, and we're going to show you another thing. On the foot plate, the back of the foot plate, maybe you can see these little rods here. Maybe you can see those little rods. We're going to try to. This is our foot plate. And on the back of the foot plate, we have a aluminum rod. And so the aluminum rod is going to be our barrier. In our case, we have basically a rectangle rod. It looks like this. This is the little rod there. So what it does, it sits on the back of here like this. And this gives us our strength. Now we talked about this before, the H frame. The H frame, because the foot plate, in some of our films, we had the foot plate that went all over the shoe. But this causes a lot more weight on the shoe. So we can make a smaller foot plate, but we extend the rods out. Do something we call telescope, or make the rods telescopic. And for the small kids, maybe don't know what telescopic is. This slides in here. Now we can pull this out and make it longer. So this comes here. Now we can pull it out. This comes here. Now we can pull this out and make it longer. So now the foot plate don't have to. Now the foot plate don't have to be as big. Why the foot plate don't have to be as big? Because my telescopic rod is doing the work. So normally, and we don't want nothing. We don't want nothing that's flimsy. I mean, that's flexible. This is a little flexible. It's plastic holes, but this aluminum tubing is a lot stronger. It's a box tubing. It's a lot stronger. And when I put my telescopic rod in, it makes it even stronger, because this is inside. Now I pull this, and there's still some in there, so it gives it makes it stronger. So now I can make my water shoe better. I can make my water shoe stronger without and keep it lighter. Now, of course, I can make my foot plate a a lot smaller now, if I wish to. But I like this size here so I can move around a little bit, yada, 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 you know. But I could make it just the size of a shoe. Or some remnants of the size of a shoe. So now we've got the foot plate. We got these rods here. Now we're going to talk a little bit. Well, now to keep the shoes running straight. You can do all kinds of things. One thing you can do, a simple thing you can do, is put a tail on your shoe. It's just like a kite. You put a tail on your kite, and it keeps the kite running straight. But strangely enough, in this type of apparatus, you need it's a tiny little string. It's a tiny little string about body length on the back of your shoe, and it runs in the water, and it kind of keeps the shoe somewhat straight. And so this is the simplest thing to do. That's if you're just kind of diddling around in a pond. You know, you just diddling around. Now, if you're going to go out in deeper water, then you might want to use a little card. This is, I guess you call it a keel, or you call it a dagger board. And it goes right between here. It goes right between here like this. You can't see it too good, but it goes in like that. It's a dagger board, and it goes in, and you can tie it on, and it slides right between the both shoes, so you could move it to where it's more applicable. But normally in the rear, past the middle. This is the middle of your shoe, so you want to put it somewhere down here. Better still down here. And of course, if it hits something, it'll tilt up, and then it'll drop back down. It'll tilt up if it hits something, And so, say it hits something, and it'll go up between the shoes and drop back down. And this something we call rigging. We just kind of rigging things together depending on what we're doing. Now, in our previous films, we showed two oars. I'm standing here with two oars, and I'm kind of going like this. Now we something we call a brace oar, and maybe we could. I don't know if we can find one or not because we don't use them anymore. But we'll look at it quick.